Thank you very much, Mr. Fuller. We'll move on to question number 3. The spate of rural hospital closures has hit your district. Northridge and Commerce recently announced that it will end hospital operations. In your view, what can be done to reverse this trend?
Well, a lot of this conversation happens at the national level, of course. But right here in Georgia, the simple answer is expand Medicaid. That is the first thing, and that's the quickest thing that we can do. This is something that came out of the ACA, and Georgia, for whatever reason, all political, in my opinion, is that they just did not do this. This would bring, we are giving up $8 million a day from the federal government that we could be using to cut our uninsured numbers in half. That would bring 56,000 jobs. We're looking at providing health insurance to 500,000 Georgians. That would bring in $3 billion in actual tax dollars and $6 billion in economic stimulus associated with that. Because when these hospitals close, that's not just losing care, that's jobs, that is people that work there and people that are associated with that. It spreads out, you know this. And these are tax dollars we already paid to the federal government. This is basically giving them tax dollars to then spread out to other places instead of getting it back tenfold in a lot of cases. So we've got to do this. And this comes into play when you've got and you're not just giving out handouts to people that are not working. In a lot of cases, these expanding Medicaid would hit working families. These are families that are already working. They make too much to get the indigent care type of Medicaid. But for a family of 5 that makes $30,000 a year, they don't qualify for that. And they would end up buying insurance on the private market. That uses basically every bit of their money that they have coming in. So this is what we need to solve. Get more people, paying customers into the hospitals, because it's not a factor of people needing less care. That's not why we're closing these hospitals. We're closing them because the finances don't work, because we've got a lot of people that need care and need it. They need the care. They go into the hospital, and if they can't pay, I don't blame them for trying to get care when they need it. I can't blame anyone for that. But I do blame our legislators at this point for just not taking this easy step that would help a lot for a lot of citizens in the county.
Thank you, Mr. Fuller. We will go to question number 4, the final question before your closing statements. Representative Benton has represented District 31 for 15 years. Whichever of you prevails, you would start the next session without any committee leadership positions. Any of these committee assignments do you intend to seek?
My background, I would definitely like something in the technology area. That is, I really want to go and work on broadband issues. That's where my skill set lays out. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any of the normal occupations that go into the legislature a lot of times. I wouldn't mind going into education as well, because I do have an education degree. I've never taught in the classroom, but I worked in the schools for 10 years. And I know a lot of the ins and outs of the administration are there. And I do hate that Mr. Benton couldn't be here to say what he would like to be doing. And as we know, he lost his chairmanship this year due to some comments that he made derogatory toward the legacy of John Lewis. This is the second time he's lost his chairmanship. And this, to be clear, this is something that was taken away from him by his Republican colleagues and his Republican leadership. This doesn't bode well for what he's going to be able to accomplish and the coalitions that he might be able to build in a coming session. I think it'd be I like to think that I'm a nice guy and that I can make some friends pretty quickly and really actually be a fresh face that could actually expand upon the needs of this area and translate those and communicate those to other partners in the legislature that could then actually make something happen instead of being a pariah at this point. So,
thank you, Mr. Fuller. Your closing statement?
Technology. That's what I want to.
Pardon me.
Sure.
Buffered there for a second.
Okay. Thank you again for the chamber for holding this. I do believe the citizens of Jackson County have spoken over the last few years. County level decision makers are embracing smart growth. We're seeing a lot of that with our chamber right now. We can even do more of that with Broderick and Jamie in office. We've organized and demanded better internet choices. We've heard that from everybody echoed all over the place here. Last year, Houston stood up last year, and they renounced the racist actions of a mayor and a city councilman. This past summer, we saw dozens of local leaders join their communities as hundreds of county citizens joined peaceful, loving protest. They were attended by our officers and law enforcement and citizens alike. We're a community. We deserve to all be represented. I believe we can use our history to find humanity in one another going forward and to make Jackson County work for all of its citizens. I'm very disappointed that Mr. Benton couldn't see fit to make himself available tonight. I find that while he may think that folks already know him, that's probably not the case. And I've found also a lot of folks, when they're often horrified when they found out his legislative history. He can't or won't represent.
Disappears. Her screen goes blank.
Or even in his own party. He sacrificed the effectiveness in Atlanta for the cause of the lost cause of the Confederacy. He sacrificed the hopes of some constituents in order to placate the bigotry in the hearts of a shrinking minority of others. He embarrassed our county on a national stage. Who knows how much business or talent he's already scared off with his divisive rhetoric. I want to do better. We've identified some of the issues that I think we can make real progress on at the state level. I want to be a local voice that's working toward the broadband problem, that understands the issue and could bring some major changes. I'm hearing the issues about workforce housing from our local business leaders, and I agree it's time to tackle that situation head on. Our current healthcare access in the state, and especially our county, needs major work. And first of all, all in the panel recognize that there are big issues there. I'm not a radical. I'm a family man with a couple dogs that has spent his entire career just wanting to fix your internet, home by home, larger networks, or for the region. I'm asking folks to look past the teams and the little letters next to our names, and instead of focus on who can best carry the needs of the county's businesses and their citizens to the legislature. Please give me a chance to listen hard and think hard and work hard to be the representative you need today. I'm asking for your vote very humbly. I ask you to visit fullerforgeorgia.com or visit me on social media and to learn more or to contact me. Thank you very much for having me. Good night.